Here's a hack on PrizePicks to skew the odds even further in your favor and hopefully produce even better results. Now, PrizePicks, if your head's been buried in the sand, is a game. I'm showing it on screen here where you pick 4 or 5 or 6 or 2 or 3 players, and we're going to choose over or under. We're going to choose various props, more than or less than on these players, create a lineup, and get paid. And of course, if you've been watching the channel here, the DFS Army channel, we've been covering PrizePicks a lot. And a big thing that we've done is we've covered the math on PrizePicks, and we talked about the win rates required for the various lineup types in order to be profitable over time. And you can see here they vary from 54% all the way up to almost 58.5% in terms of the win rate required on each leg of your lineup in order to be profitable over time. Now, we recently launched a tool called the Proptimizer over at DFS Army, where it will identify odds to hit on props based on the sportsbook projections for those same props, right? And what we've noticed is that for markets that are available on sportsbooks, about the best you're ever going to see is an odds to hit in the range of just about 60%. Meaning, if you just stick with obvious props, it can be PrizePicks can be played incredibly profitably as long as you're disciplined about it and you stick with only the highest odds to hit plays. But the question I keep getting is, how do we skew even further to our advantage? I want more than a 60% edge. I want a 70% edge on a prop. I want a 75% edge. And the way to get those and the way to skew those is a format they have called live betting. Essentially, I'm calling it late swap, but really it's not late swap. It's just effectively live plays. Like, you could be watching a baseball game and they'll be like, next inning, what will happen, right? Or in an NBA game, it'll be third quarter and fourth quarter props. And these pop up really quick and they're gone really quick. So I want to talk a little bit about those, how to identify the best quote unquote late swaps on PrizePicks, how you can take advantage of these, and what you need to keep in mind as you do. So the first thing you have to understand is you're watching, you need to be watching the game, and ideally not watching delayed or on a stream or anything like that. The props come and they are gone quickly. You got to be ready, and you need to be thinking at all times about what's coming. Of course, you could also just join the DFS Army Discord, where we're sharing these plays. We have people, we're monitoring them, we're talking about them in the chat nonstop. So of course, just join the Discord, link in the description, and you could get it that way. But if you didn't do that, you need to be watching the game, understand how the game is going. For NBA, for example, is a certain player injured, or are they getting into foul trouble, right? What's the score? Is a team down by 30 in the third quarter? This is one of my favorites, where they're likely to rest their starters in the fourth quarter. That's my absolute favorite. That's the one I'm always looking for. Let's watch it again. If the team looks like, oh, it's a blowout's coming on both sides. The winning team might rest their starters. The team that's behind also looking. So you want to hammer the unders in those games. So you need to be watching NBA and really, really quick to pounce when you see, oh, yeah, they're down by 25. Chances are, they're going to rest their starters for the fourth quarter. So you can hammer those with confidence. And those can sometimes skew as high as 80% likely to occur. Although keeping in mind, they only last for a few minutes and then they're gone. So you got to be really, really quick. And I'll explain the last portion of this, where you need to really have a pair or other plays in your back pocket to pair up with these. But for MLB, you're watching the game. How's the pitcher doing? Is their velocity down? Are they kind of getting beat up, but they loaded the bases the previous, but they got out of it, but, kind of look like they're about to fall off a cliff, right? What about the batting order in MLB? You want to be watching the batting order. If you see that the top of the batting order is coming up, or the next inning, it's going to be, second, third, fourth, or first, second, third, fourth, fifth, something, top of the order, that's a spot to hammer the pitcher gives up a hit in the next inning prop. MLB is live. They'll give you 2 innings. Will a pitcher give up a hit or a run? Those type of things. So you want to be paying attention to the batting order. Like, oh, we're starting fresh, or we're at the good hitters are up. That's when you want to hammer that pitcher to give up a hit prop. In NFL, it works the same. We're watching game flows, right? And a lot of this takes place in the fourth quarter, especially NBA and NFL. The most obvious ones come in the fourth quarter of games, where, again, is a team behind huge. That means they're going to be throwing a lot in the fourth quarter. Teams don't normally rest their starters in NFL, but you might see a little more of the team that's ahead's running back yards. We might hammer some overs on that, maybe a touchdown. For the team that's behind, we want to grab the unders potentially on their running back rushing yards and maybe look at wide receiver or passing yard stats and that type of thing. Now, one of the keys to all of this, so you can really identify the plays, especially if you're looking and waiting for these scenarios every single day in NBA. There are a lot of games, right? Of course, we're coming to the end of the season, but in the regular season, there are a ton of games happening every single day, and a lot of them are blowouts. So if you're paying attention in these games in the midway through the third quarter and you're watching, you're like, ooh, let's hammer those before they're gone. So you need to be on it and you need to be paying attention. And of course, like I said, you need to have your pairs ready. Now, one of the things we do in the DFS Army Discord is we're monitoring this stuff and we're popping out these plays, and those plays tend to be the most likely to hit, right? They hit at a greater than 60% rate. So you need to be in the Discord and get tagged when those drop, and you got to be on it real quick, and you have to have a pair ready. So, sorry, not much visual here, but I just wanted to talk about effectively what I'm calling late swaps, but it really is just the live in-game stuff on PrizePicks and how much of an edge you can really, really get. So one extra little note here. One thing that I do to keep a pair in my back pocket is, like I said, I study some of the sports that don't necessarily have sportsbook props against them, so that I generally will have, and it's very specific for me, MMA plays where I'll have one or two that I feel super confident in, and I just save those for pairs. So when the play pops up, when the pitcher over half a hit, or the unders in the blowout game, or whatever it is, when those pop up, I'm ready with a pair, even from a different sport. Don't think that you have to play each ticket that's going to end like at the same time or in the same sport. Mix it up a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. And like I said, if you want access to the DFS Army Proptimizer, you want to get in our Discord. Discord's free for public, but to get to our PrizePicks Discord, you got to sign up for the DFS Army PrizePicks subscription. But Will and Sniper, myself, we got a team of pros just dropping those plays in the Discord. They're going all night. They're still dropping them even right now. If we open them up, it's midnight where I am. They just go 2, 3 in the morning. They're nonstop. So you want to be in that Discord. We're dropping plays all throughout the day, all throughout the night. You get action whenever you want, and they're all plus EV spots, or identify them at your own just using these tips. I'll see you guys next time.